I am so blessed and honored to have such a remarkable woman with me here today. Her name is Cynthia Schwell. She's a trailblazer, a new Renaissance light worker, healer, teacher. She's also an actress, and she brings all of her unique brand of magic and talents to the theater stage. And she also teaches at Portland Community College in Portland, Oregon. I love that so much because I believe that we are all actors and actresses in our own life drama, and this world, in some ways, is a stage, on or off the stage. And I love that Cynthia brings her spirituality, her charisma, and her healing energy to the stage and to that world and touches people in that way. It's incredible. She also works with women, and she's a counselor and doing some incredible healing and activations in that way. So it's so good to have Cynthia here, as she has truly been bringing the awakening of consciousness to the planet for many years, as well as awakening the goddess within. She really walks her walk, talks her talk, and is such a trailblazer and light leader that's been doing incredible work for many years. It's so nice to have you here, Cynthia. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not so used to these kind of introductions, and I sure appreciate them. But then I want to add all the other things that you haven't added because, um, one thing is wearing different hats and having a long life. You get to see many changes and what is needed during these different changes. So I've been very blessed to be on the wave of a lot of different newness coming. I was a massage therapist in the early 80s when we were first showing people take it out of these sex collars and there's really a therapy here, and having to make some of that's the trailblazing, end of things, and doing psychic work before there was mystical bookstores. So we'd have these big conventions and outside people would be picketing, devil people, don't go there. And yet what we were selling was everything that wasn't available, the herbs and the crystals and teaching people how to connect with their souls and energy and um yeah, so many beautiful things that just being of this age and being a free spirit that I've been graced to open those doors. Um, and now I'm at an age where all this experience can open doors for other people, and I can speak many languages, not literally the languages, but the language of certain feelings and particular experiences that other people might, find like-minded, and this person would be this. Despite the differences in all these people, I've been a liaison and a networker, and bringing together, um, yeah, a whole lot of different people, which is important. Not to be, stuck with just one tribe, but the planet as your tribe and your family. Even though there's certain friends like Schamet, that you have a certain special thing there, but that's what open heart and love brings is the unification of every living force, and particularly women, which is so important to empower at this point in time, because the shifting into the feminine energy is what's needed at this point to balance things out and bring in, yeah, the shifting of Mother Gaia, new dimensions, and open chakras to energies that we can't really label at this point in time, but they are influxing big time right now, particularly.
Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much. And So that's, the first question is what does the goddess mean to you? And, I know, I see you as one of the original hippies of the movement, and the awakening and what that means to you.
Yeah, I, have felt it my entire life and have held the fact that, yeah, we are souls embodied, the gift of this body on this planet, and how to resonate the two and anchor the power of the soul outside of the box that's been imposed by our world, just to operate as a world in history, and letting, yeah, the new story, which is the story of the mother and the love and the nurturing and the caring and, yeah, the beautiful life that each and of us can have if, yeah, the old barriers of the holding and the, power mongers, and yeah, now I'm just kind of rattling again. So give me that question.
That's okay. That's all right. Um, I know you've been on the path of the goddess for a long time. So just relating it to your own connection with your own divinity and your own path, your own spiritual path, and what that means to you, the connection to the goddess and to your own feminine spirit.
um, yeah, I have many spiritual traditions that I've walked through the past since the early, well, before the early 80s. Um, and in each of them, there's a strong, well, the Native American, for instance, that so honors the woman and the power of the woman. And sometimes it's misunderstood because, for instance, when you're on your moon time, you can't walk into the sweat lodge. And some people feel, oh my God, not allowing the women into a sacred area at that point. And it's because of the incredible power of the woman that the man can't deal with. So having the moon lodge and having the elders, with the maidens and the teaching of all the ways and the holding of those ways and the weaving of the stories and anchoring that power into the bodies, into the community, into it's been, yeah, the old witches and their herbal ways and their little huts. It's always been the women holding this knowledge and this energy. And it's in the waves that we all can connect to when we have that particular interest. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, I'm having too many thoughts at this time, but the goddess has many different faces, and certainly the Hindu deities are one that have been very used in the Western world, and calling upon any of them have that opening You don't have to know anything other than their name and sitting and requesting that particular face. They have different energy forces that come along with them to deal with particularities that you need to happen in your reality, as it's called for.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said that this is so important for us right now to be awakening to, um, in relation to the awakening. What is the importance of that awakening in your opinion, and what is your experience with the awakening?
Well, if we don't awaken now, we're gonna burn in the turning times. It's more obvious than ever with all that's being imposed upon us, on the planet. Either we sink or we rise. There's no, choice, and there's no time really to continue the education and the training. What it is grounding yourself and calling and anchoring and saying, I am the light. And now I am going to call it through my own wonderful body that is gonna, yeah, burst otherwise. Um, we are in the awakening. There's no doubt about that. And however you want to talk about dimension, shifts, leaving we're out of the third dimension. We're kind of halfway through fourth and fifth, whatever that means. But things have shifted. It just takes sometimes, well, it takes a while for the body to shift because we're at a different time zone, and that's what all the rocking and the shaking is about, is our shifting. And we have the past ways of attuning to what that all means that no longer is existing. So it's a time of unknown and uncertainty and confusion for people. But all you have to do, like you said earlier, is ground out, hug trees, open the heart to love, and yeah, just speak your truth through the deepening of this beautiful green energy that wings out. And yeah, wing it out with physical movement. Dance the heart, dance the wings, however we dance.
I love that. I love that. So, what are your kind of tips and tools and wisdom for people that are really struggling right now with all of the shifts? So, obviously, hugging trees and moving. Is there anything else that you'd like to offer?
Well, I love tinctures and herbs, and all those things are really wonderful. And I live in a place where there's a lot accessible. But what's beautiful now, buying online, there's all kinds of companies that sells things, and taking, you don't have to spend all this money and do the special formula, but there's just basic, well, I don't know, I guess I can talk about some of the things that I take daily. I find them important. I'm really into turmeric shots, and all I do is buy bulk turmeric, and you activate it with a little pepper. So half a teaspoon of that, and turmeric, and put a little hot water, a little honey. I like a little lemon. That is so important for just, cleansing the body and the immune system, joints, particularly as you're aging. And how I do my trapeze is this, shot. I really find that, so important. Homeopathics are really nice, little basic, arnica. We want adaptogens like ashwagandha is a wonderful adaptogen, and ginseng, which used to be a big thing, is still a beautiful thing. They also so help the immune system. So doing those simple things and attending to that, inside breathing, and there's so many simple, there's yeah, big practices, and I do a variety of things when I have the time to do it. But I've, come upon some simple breathings, like there's a box breathing technique that you're just breathing in and out in a box, and all these things are available online, and I can even make different links for some of them, but they're simple things to me. To do things easily, that doesn't take a lot of time, and just fit it in the day as you're moving about is important, rather than imposing the hour, because then we don't do it daily. But if it's only 10 minutes, I can, squeeze that in, here and there. And before you know it, yeah, you're moving in a flow rather than in getting caught in all the shifts. It's a time of great highs, and it's a time of great lows, and being we are in a unified field, and that field, I believe, is opening more because the light is penetrating this earth deeper than ever before, which is also bringing us to another level of connection on yeah, very psychic way. Um, so we have to hold our own center even more than ever before. Grounding roots through the soles of your feet, feeling little roots, whatever color. Some people use red, use green, use gold, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just don't get caught in the right way of doing it. Find a way of just doing it, and letting you find your practice that works for yourself. I have an exercise that I taught yoga for many years, and yoga is really important, but people really get into the asanas and having to do it right, and wearing the right clothes and everything else. And that doesn't open up to everyone in the world, but there's just some, basic positions that you can learn that your body adapts to. And I was also in a lot of car accidents and got, neck damage here and there, and had lots of chiropractic and, acupuncture and all kinds of things, and physical therapy. And I learned certain basic exercises that just got combined into my yogic practice with all these other things that have become mine. So it's not something I can even teach someone else, because guess what? It's working for my body. And it also has become an inner language that I don't have to think about. I just go and I start doing it, and the body does it itself. Um, Finding these things, body is more important than ever, and finding the space in the body, really feeling the belly breath, 3-part breathing, and yeah, playing with the chakras. You don't have to know everything about it, but just I like to work with the golden light from the great central sun just coming in my chakras, stirring it up, and little pipeline to the bottom, going into the center of the earth, that removes all the detritus and garbage and debris that has gotten stuck in the chakras. So creating this tube system, and you can do it really fast. It doesn't have to be a complicated thing up the chakras, and that just opens your energy field. I really want people to feel the simplicity of these things, and yet the incredible magnitude and glory we have at store with our own minds and the globe opening its knowledge to each other through this, little computer, you can, yeah, find different things to explore, and whatever fits into your schedule, do it.
I love that. Thank you, Cynthia. You're such a well of knowledge and information. And yeah, I mean, you've done so many different things, haven't you? You've done the yoga training. You have, I'd love for you to tell us more about, because you have a degree in theater and is it psychology as well? Can you tell us a little bit more about all the things that you do? Because it's so fascinating.
Yeah, for many years I worked, more in the psychological end, and I was going to do the PhD in clinical psychology, but then I fell in love with the stage, and that kind of took precedence. And I, yeah, started out a very shy person and very intellectual. And I love science and biology in my teenage years and in high school. And for a while I was, kind of nerdy, and but then the hormones came and the breasts came. And I suddenly was attractive. I wasn't gawky with, braces and prepubescent chubbiness. I was like, and I didn't understand it, but boys started understanding it and looking at me differently. And it was, oh, wow. So it wasn't until my junior year in college where I suddenly was a popular girl rather than, but I still had all these other interests. But then they became hidden from these other groups of people so that I can just be a pretty party girl as well as, an A student, which I was through high school and through, college. But anyways, I'm saying all that because the psychology was of interest because I was always interested in humanity and serving in some way, but I also wanted to be the listener, not the object of attention. And it took a while before, yeah, the acting kicked in, but when it did, I saw that I could express all that I resonate and empathize with in humanity and show that part of our beautiful, archetypical, um, yeah, world through theater. And it just, you were talking about the goddess, what I say to my students. I teach acting, and I do more teaching of that than I even perform these days. But I ask them what kind of characters they want to play, and they'll ask me, and I said I'm at a stage in my life where I don't really want to play humanity anymore because the whole study of character and performance is embracing that particular energy. So I want to be the goddesses. I want to feel that energy through those techniques and radiate that presence. So ritual theater and truly being the goddess is something that I teach a little bit, but I'm wanting the troupe of women to come forth and say, hey, let's do that. You have any ideas and advice? And I said, sure, let's create those troops and put them in many different communities. Um, but yeah, so my earlier life more was that, and then it shifted and it changed and it shifted and it changed and it shifted and it changed um, and and then the spiritual world took over at one point, and living in Southeast Asia for 3 years and being a Buddhist nun, which I don't know if you remember, I did that for a year, northern Thailand.
Yeah. I really love what I love about you is that you weave it all together. You weave the psychology and the spirituality and the theater and create, like Shakespeare says, the world is a stage and, we're the actors. And, I feel like you really pull all of those pieces together and quite elegantly and make it really playful as well. And so, um, what are your feelings about that, and how can we do that more? Like, how can we bring our experience? It's hard for me to verbalize what I'm trying to ask, but I'm hoping that you'll understand. It's more of an intuitive feeling. It's hard to put it into words, but it's like you bring in the energy of the goddess, you bring in the energy of humanity and the wounded, the muck of it all, the anger, the sadness, the despair, like all of the shadow of humanity. But also you like marry it with that higher connection, and then you bring that into your life in a really like elegant and empowering, like Renaissance woman, warrior woman, trailblazing kind of way. And like you just do that. Like that's just what you have always done. And I've watched you do it. And I'm just wondering if you can give us any tips on how you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I pray a lot. And part of my prayer is what I am and what I have, please give to everyone else, because I have been blessed with a freedom to emote, to step out of the box and not to listen to what my mother wanted for me. um, and not to go into things for security and money and so as far as sharing those particularities when I'm teaching people and working and counseling, I, bring out that free spirit in their own way. And I know how to do that one-on-one. Sharing it to a broad audience in this new format of Zoom, which, as you know, I'm not one that's doing a lot of it, but I am totally open to it because, this point in time is demanding it of us. And I want to feel people. And I realize that the computer can't do that. I feel amazing things in different meetings and the decisions and the collaboration through some of the groups that I'm working with that we've come to, just on Zoom is amazing. So I know that this is possible. And I'm finding the different avenues to really make it accessible to broader people, not just smaller groups in front of me in this room, which is one of my classrooms in the house. That is now my Zoom room. And how people can be like me is by it's like ripping away in crazy wild. However, some people like to dance and jump off the walls and shake and skip and bring that, inner child and just bare yourself and burn the past and burn the old stories and burn the limitations and forgive it all and forget it all and make noises and just sing silly, rhyming, diddly things. And no, we are alone now, and you can be all these things. You can put on, different hats and different costumes, and stand in front of the mirror with, mask, and just see something different. That's not what I was anymore. Now I have the wow, this looks pretty cool. I'm just gonna call in, all my great sister spirits to, yeah, blow me out into a whole new capacity of expression, and not worry what it sounds like. And when it needs to connect to a person, I open my mouth and it'll connect.
Love it. I love it, Cynthia. Love you, honey. I love your expression.
I don't know what I'm saying right now.
I
Jeanette.
love it. You said so
I
much. You just said so much. That was so beautiful. And yeah, no, you do. You're channeling. No, I'm going to just say, own it. You just said some powerful, powerful things that came through. And it's time to just be who we are and to stop worrying about how it sounds or how it looks, or just, yeah. And that's what it is you've always been true to who you are. You don't do it for the money, you don't do it for fame, you don't do it for popularity. You just are who you are, and the authenticity of your free spirit comes through. And I love what you just said. Yeah, that was perfect. So I do notice the time. We're getting close to time. So you have a very special offer for everyone that signs up for, I'm calling it the Backstage Pass, or the All Access Pass. So I'll let you explain what that is.
Yeah, this beautiful technique, deep muscle relaxation, which is something that I learned in psychology classes in college all these years ago, but I've been using it in different ways. And I use it in my acting classes to get the average person into a quiet inward space so that they can go to that blank canvas and start to see and create a character, and build a personal history. So the technique is good for anxiety and creating calmness and going inward and finding that quiet. So I just facilitate that with some bits of commentary here and there, and it will be something you can just listen to and do about 15 minutes, and you'll definitely feel differently, and then you'll know the technique to use at home at will.
Great. Thank you so much.
One thing I realized, Schamet, I'm teaching a Zoom. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I don't know if you said that. And I teach at Portland Community College acting, and I'm teaching a Zoom class in the winter catalog already registering. And I just realized people can take this Zoom class probably anywhere in the world.
Great.
Even
Wonderful.
even though it's a university, certainly within the nation. So doing probably more of these kind of things, as I get, more skilled in this whole Zoom, classroom. But yeah, I love teaching acting. I do a lot of different things, and if people are interested, they can email me.
Yeah, and is
I,
there
I I'd love to relate and give advice, or other kinds of things.
is there a link that you could give to me that I can put in the summit information for that acting class at Portland Community College?
Well, I just realized it has, you know, a maximum. So if a lot of people wanted to take it, it wouldn't be available.
That's okay.
Um,
Yeah, but
but
we can put the link in there anyways. So that, I think that would be a good idea. And if it fills, and if the class fills up, I'm sure that means that they'll just schedule more classes with you. So that's not a bad thing, right?
well, it's up to me. No, it's up to me. And I've resisted, but now I'm open. I'm open to it.
Great. That's why you're on the summit. You're open. So thank you for being open to sharing who you are and what you do. And thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and your messages. And thank you so much for being here with us today. Everyone that's listening, definitely sign up for the All Access Pass so you can get some more of this beautiful, beautiful goddess. And I know it's going to be amazing because she's amazing. And, you know, she's been working with helping actors and yogis and goddesses and lots of people for years. So I know this is so much value. So definitely sign up for that, and we'll see you soon. Namaste.
Yeah. And also rattles are a great thing.
Oh.
You know, whenever your head is talking, it really quiets things. And make sure to hold your stones. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. That's true. The rattle is really great, and the holding the stones is very grounding too. I usually have one in my hand while I'm speaking just to help ground my energy. Actually, here it is. And I actually hold a rock. It's just a rock from outside. It's not
Mhm.
something fancy. It's not expensive. It's just an actual rock. And that usually really helps me ground my energy. I probably needed it, but that's all right.
Well, just having it in your proximity is good too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Is there any last final thing that you want to say?
Um, Smile and the whole world smiles with you.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.